The New York Football Giants and Saquon Barkley were not able to come to an agreement and sign a long-term contract, as today was the deadline for all franchise tag players to sign a long-term deal. And Joe Shane and Saquon Barkley, they were not able to get it done. You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and I am disappointed. I'm disappointed in both parties. I'm disappointed in the Giants. I'm disappointed in Saquon Barkley. Now we go into training camp with no Saquon Barkley. We go into training camp with Brian Daboll having to answer questions every day about Saquon Barkley. The players are going to have to answer questions about Saquon Barkley. We are heading to a holdout, and it is not a good situation to be in. We're going to break down everything you need to know of what happened leading up to the 4 p.m. Eastern deadline today. Rappaport broke the news at 2:52 that he said no deal for the Giants and star running back Saquon Barkley. Talks went down to the wire, and the best efforts made to strike a compromise. He'll play on the tag, but the question is when. What does he mean by that? It does not sound like Saquon Barkley is happy, and it does not sound like he is going to report for training camp in just a couple of weeks. Barkley, 2 minutes after Ian Rappaport's tweet came out and said, "It is what it is." It's very upsetting. It's very disappointing. That's what it is. It is disappointing. It is upsetting. He is a pillar in this organization. He is a face, maybe the face of this organization. The Giants are better with him on the football field. And right now, with no long-term deal agreed to, and he's going to have to, A, play on the franchise tag, B, not sign the franchise tag and hold out, or C, not play a single game this year for the Giants. Not good, Jim. Not good. I'll ask you guys this question. What is your one-word reaction to no deal with Saquon Barkley? When you first heard that Barkley and the Giants could not get a long-term deal done, what was your one-word reaction? That'll be the pinned comment on today's show. When you get hit with that YouTube ad break, scroll down and let me know. Adam Schefter tweeted this out right after the news broke that with no long-term deal being reached today, Saquon Barkley is not expected to report to training camp with the rest of his team. The Giants are not expected to see Barkley until later this summer. If then, Barkley will have decisions to make as to when he is willing to report. It's upsetting. It is very upsetting. Saquon Barkley did so much for this organization. But I understand that it is a business. And in this business right now, a lot of running backs don't get a lot of money. The Las Vegas Raiders and Josh Jacobs were unable to come to a long-term deal. The Dallas Cowboys and Tony Pollard, both of those backs being franchise tagged, were not able to come to an agreement on a long-term deal. I'll say this much. If Saquon Barkley holds out for the entire 2023 season, the Giants are going to be in a world of trouble. Because when you talk about Saquon Barkley, you talk about the heartbeat of this organization. I'm worried about the on-field stuff, no doubt about it. I'm worried that he may not play a game. But I'm almost more worried that the Giants' locker room is upset that this happened. Because everyone in the Giants' locker room knows that Saquon Barkley deserved an extension. We heard Jalen Smith on ESPN over the weekend, who's played with the Giants for 2 years, said that Saquon Barkley is the heartbeat of this team. I talked to Snacks Harrison a couple of weeks ago, and he told me the Giants have no choice but to get it done. And if they don't, it's not going to be a good look for the rest of the locker room. Daniel Jones got paid. Dexter Lawrence got paid. Andrew Thomas is about to get paid. The only pillar of this organization that has not been paid is Saquon Barkley. And that is disappointing, and I am worried that he might actually sit out games. Not a good situation. Not a good situation. If we get any more news, info, updates, reports, terms of deals that were offered or whatever, we are going to be making a video on this channel. So subscribe, youtube.com/NYGiantsTV. Help us get to 30,000 subs. We're going to get to more info on this contract, I guess, non-agreement coming up in a second. But first, I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor of today's show, Z-Biotics. Today's show is sponsored by Z-Biotics. And let's face it, after y'all hit me with a bunch of super chats, I don't bounce back well the next day. That is until I found Z-Biotics. Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol Probiotic is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. Here's how it works. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Z-Biotics produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. It's designed to work like your liver, but in your gut where you need it most. Drink Z-Biotics before drinking alcohol. Drink responsibly and get a good night's sleep. I'll tell you this much. I took one of these Z-Biotics before our live show because I knew it might get a little bit wild. But I love the packaging that it comes in. It's really sleek. It's really slender. It comes with 6 different bottles inside. Really good packaging. Keeps it organized. If you're on the move, going to a bachelor party or bachelorette party, it can easily fit in to your luggage. Head to zbiotics.com/chatsports and use code chatsports or scan the QR code on the screen to the right and save 15% off your first order at checkout. You can also sign up for a subscription as well so you can stay prepared no matter what the time or occasion. Z-Biotics is backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. That's zbiotics.com/chatsports. And remember to use the code chatsports for 15% off, or you can scan right here, this QR code to unlock the deal of the day. That link is in the comments and description of the show. No deal. The Giants say no deal to Saquon Barkley as they looked to get a contract extension done. Reports came out this morning from Ryan Dunleavy, who has been all over the Giants beat, was the first to report the Daniel Jones news said the Giants offered Barkley a deal of $22 million guaranteed. I think the number for Barkley was $22.5 million guaranteed, as that is how much money he is guaranteed to get over the next 2 seasons if he is franchise tagged. So I'm sure he wanted more money than that, right? But unfortunately, it was unable to get done. When you look at the guaranteed money at signing for the highest paid running backs in the NFL, Christian McCaffrey comes in at number 1 at $30 million. Derrick Henry, $25.5. Bijan Robinson, the rookie, just under 23. Alvin Kamara at 22. And Nick Chubb at 17. I believe Barkley wanted to be in between Bijan Robinson and Derrick Henry, if not north of what Derrick Henry got. So now you ask yourself, if Barkley is not going to play this year, who is the guy that's going to be getting handoffs from number 8 in the backfield? Could it be Matt Breida, who had some really good games for the Giants, had a couple big catches, and a couple of tough runs down the stretch of the season? Could it be the rookie 5th-round selection, Eric Gray, out of Oklahoma? Yeah. I like Gray. I like Brightwell. I like Breida. And I like the UDFA last year, Ja'Shawn Corbin. I don't like any of those guys as much as I like Saquon Barkley. I'll ask you this question because I've heard reports that this could be the case, and I think it's more likely than not that it will be. Will this be Saquon Barkley's last year with the New York Football Giants? Frickin' hurts my stomach to have to ask that question. Type Y for yes, type N for no. I want to hear from you guys down below. There is no doubt that when Saquon Barkley is on the football field, he's one of the best and most productive players in the National Football League. I mean, in the first 9 games of the season, he was in the MVP conversation. 200 carries, 930 yards, 4.7 yards per pop, 6 touchdowns, and a long run of 68 yards. Whether it be the Giants shifted to more of a passing game, Saquon Barkley was a little bit dinged up, defenses started to focus on him a little bit more, whatever it may be, the facts are the facts. He was not as good in the last 9 games as he was in the first 9 games. He was also not nearly as explosive as he was to start the season, to end the season. The play that sticks out to me is the play against the Eagles in the playoffs where he took off and got to the outside on a run to the left-hand side and got caught from behind. I mean, his broken tackles were not even half as many in the last 9 games compared to the first 9. They were half as many in 10-plus yard runs. Half as many 15-plus yards and only 1 run of more than 30-plus yards. It's an unfortunate situation. I wish I knew what the final offers were. I'm sure we will know in a couple of days what those will be. But man, oh man, Saquon Barkley is not going to be on a long-term deal with the Giants. Jordan Renan tweeting out, realizing the past weeks this was a realistic outcome. The two sides were not particularly close at the time after 8+ months. GM Joe Shane had his limits, would only stretch so much. The Giants were always fine with Barkley playing on the tag. Let's hope he does that. Let's hope he plays on the tag, because if Saquon Barkley misses games this year, it's not going to be good news for the New York Football Giants. If any more news, info, rumors, anything come out about the contract extension, lack of a contract extension for Barkley, you will find those first over on my Twitter at @MarshallGreen_, and we will also be making a video as soon as possible. So turn on your notifications and subscribe to New York Giants Now by Chat Sports.